Bronzeville is both a place and a spirit of the sons and daughters of the Great Migration to this northern city, who came up by way of New Orleans, up through Memphis, up through Chicago, up to Chicago, seeking the promised land, and were literally restricted by legal restricted covenants imposed by people associated with the University of Chicago, who wanted to contain that mass migration in a narrow band of land, 3.5 miles by 1.5 miles wide, that came to be known as Bronzeville, or i.e. Black Metropolis. It was a place because of the concentration of people. You had 300,000 people scrammed into a narrow band of land at its height. So you had people in kitchenettes and piled on top of one another, commerce everywhere, restaurants, clubs, businesses, etc., buoyed by and supported by the numbers racket, right? Which brought, these gentlemen were making $20 million a year, right? And they underwrote a lot of businesses that were owned by African Americans. So it was a bustling metropolis, if you will, of African Americans seeking greater mobility, seeking economic empowerment, seeking their emancipation, having survived Jim Crow, lynchings, right? And come to the northern city and working for the first time, where they worked side by other races of people and earned a living wage. And so the dollar circulated based on us not being able to go outside that community. The dollar circulated 8, 9, 10 times, and so you had a very vibrant, though repressed community. It was a very vibrant community, full of culture and arts, which also flourished at that same time.
Hi, my name is Maurita Holmes. I am the president of Lyric Foundation and the CEO of Bella Noir. It stems from two of my favorite languages and favorite countries to visit. So that's the Italian part is Bella, it stands for beautiful girl. And then the Noir is black in French. So those are two of my favorite places. Like, you'll always find me trying to get to Paris or the Amalfi Coast in Italy. We do a lot of after-school programming in CPS, and so one of the things that I kept coming across is young black girls not loving themselves, not feeling appreciated or worthy, or like they belong. And so I wanted to come up with a name and more so of a vibe of something that can uplift them and make them feel like I matter. And that's why we have the catchphrase, worthy of the attention I command. So whenever you walk into a room, you know that you belong there and you're worthy of that attention. Growing up, I was always taught to write the vision and make it plain. In fact, sorry, but I have to read this and I don't know it by heart. So I was always taught this scripture from Habakkuk 2:2. Write the vision, make it plain on tablets, so he may run who reads it. For still the vision awaits its appointed time. It hastens to the end, it will not lie. If it seems slow, wait for it. It will surely come, it will not delay. So that's one of my favorite things to dwell on when I get discouraged or when things don't look like it's happening or going the way I want it to go. I always know that it starts from the vision, and that's why I started making vision boards. And I've noticed that every time I make a vision board, years may go by, but I do accomplish all those things on those vision boards. I am now on my 3rd vision board, and that's where this all came to pass, is from vision boards.
As a firm, we're very excited to be a part of this project, really because it's the epitome of everything that we value and what we do, and how we create and approach changing the built environment. And in the end, this is really about the people that will be using this facility. It's set up by Maurita's vision, us being able to take that vision and apply it into what the architecture and the building really responds to, and then how people are using it and how it can really begin to plant the seeds and impact people, transform lives, and impact the communities that they're placed in. So when you have like that foundational trust and those values that align, really everything else flows from that and makes the relationship simpler, right, and easier, and we get each other, and we've just been able to really use each other's visions and talents and abilities to like flourish and grow and really develop fantastic visions and ideas for projects. So creating a building and the design and the architecture that surrounds it that really can be iconic and lead to further development, further opportunities, and really be a catalyst for this community is what we're most excited about.
The facility on 47th Street in Bronzeville will house our foundation offices, medical offices, a gym, a fitness center, a lot of healthy restaurants.
So this project will have two impacts in this community. One will be the transformation on 47th Street. When we see this building come out of the ground, when the building is built, the way it's designed, the way it connects with the street, it will be bold and innovative. Even more impactful will be what goes on inside the building. It will focus on the overall wellness of the community and of the individual.
Our Ogle County facility is a farm. It'll be a working farm. It'll have equine therapy for first responders, for troubled youth, for veterans, and if people just want to come and do recreational riding. And in this program, we cater to veterans, first responders, inner city youth, and just anyone that's been suffering from post-traumatic stress or mental illness. And what we try to do is pair them up with horses to just work through some of their issues. So not only do they get to have a session with a therapist, one-on-one, just sitting talking, but they also get to experience working through their issues by way of horse training or just recreational riding. Just there's several things that we like to address to kind of calm them down and give them a safe space.
So I love the inclusion of bringing service members and veterans into the fold with non-military and service members so that we collectively can, again, mesh our experiences and make it better on both parts. We all have something to learn from each other.
We also will have a full-fledged working farm where we'll do farm to table. We'll do retreats. We also do event planning at this facility as well. So it's an awesome experience. When you go out there driving up the road, it's so peaceful, you never want to leave.
We will grow particular types of vegetables and fruits and bring those things into the city and have like a farmer's market several times a month out of the facility. Secondly, the opportunity to bring kids from the city, 45, 50 minutes outside of the city and bring them to the farm, let them see how food is produced, how it's made in America is a really important step for them to understand in terms of how food processing takes place, but also getting them the ability to get out of the city, get out of this environment, get into a space that's a little more green and natural.
I believe we need organizations like Lyric Foundation and Bella Noir in the communities because it's one thing to drive down in through these communities and say, oh, feel sorry for people, or say God bless them, or Lord help them, or whatever it is you say when you drive by people hurting in the streets. I feel like it needs to be a more hands-on approach. We need to get out of our cars, get out of our homes, we need to do something. Growing up, my mother is what we would call, I guess, a missionary, or she was also a teacher, but she did a lot of missions. She worked in hospitals. She did as much as she could to give back. So that's kind of what I feel like I was born to do. My parents always taught me to be of service. So servitude is one of the things that I do great. Also, I'm a woman of faith. So my father would always say, I know a lot of people you've heard, faith without works is dead. So I feel like we need these organizations because having faith that the community or the world is going to change is not going to help unless we put the work in.
Bella Noir, worthy of the attention I command.